In this game, winners win, and I only back winners. Trainer Kenny McPeak is a proven winner, and his horses are in my portfolio. And now they can be in yours too. McPeak's champion horses and Derby hopefuls are now featured on Morning Line. With Morning Line, I don't just watch the race. I own the moment. I invest in champions. This is my edge. Buy, sell, trade anytime. Morning Line. Own the game.
Hi there, Ashley Mailloux, Mike Beer here with a preview this Saturday at Oaklawn Park. They just had Rebel weekend, and this coming Saturday, March 7th, their feature will be the Grade 2 Azeri. $400,000 is the purse for those older fillies and mares at a distance of 1 1/16 miles. And Mike, as we take a look at the field here, it's a compact field. It's maybe not as short as I thought it would be. I thought maybe the big name in here, Nitrogen, would scare away another horse or two, but she's 4 to 5 on the morning line. She won't be that price come post time.
No, she won't. She's going to be short. And I guess she deserves to be, Ashley, now that she's got her 4-year-old return under her belt in the Bayakoya. I don't know about you. I mean, she was obviously really good as a 3-year-old. I'm not sure that she, has ever looked as good as she looked winning the Bayakoya last time. That was a pretty good performance off the layoff.
And looking at the morning line in here, other horses that are shorter prices includes the 3 and the 5, who we'll talk about a little bit later, but they would still need to take a step forward here to beat the champ Nitrogen. We'll take a look at the time form US pace projection here. And in terms of who could be forward, it is interesting to see her stablemate Cara also entered in this spot. Have to agree that she's going to be forward. We can talk maybe a little bit more, Mike, later about why that might work against her. But I think it's clear to see what that is, the fact that there's another pace horse in here, the 7 Standout Sensation, who unfortunately draws directly to her outside.
Yeah, they just ran against each other at Sam Houston, and it was Standout Sensation who made the lead that day on a pretty solid pace, and Cara sort of had to sit just off her on the outside. I think it'll be different this time just because of the post positions are reversed here. Cara, she's always been at her best when she's able to make the lead, and I just feel like she's going to get a really aggressive ride here and try to make the lead and see how far she can take them.
We'll kick it off here with the number 1 perfect shot for Whisper Hill Farm, Steve Asmussen, the conditioner. She also exits that same race at Sam Houston and ended up being the winner. And I thought it was a really nice timed ride by Eric Asmussen, one that certainly took a big step forward from her prior race at Remington Park. While that effort was so strong, Mike, I feel like there are reservations when you just have the other big names in here. Even if Nitrogen wasn't in here, I still think she'd have her work cut out a little bit. And the fact that I don't necessarily know if she loves Oaklawn, but maybe she's a better mare now at the age of 5.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I feel like, I don't want to knock this horse. I think she'll be a big price, a pretty big price again in this race, but she was the longest shot on the board in that Houston Ladies Classic. And, let's be honest, she ran well in there, but all she did was take advantage of that race. It was a contested pace in front of her. She got a clean trip into it, and she sort of surged up at the end there when the leaders got tired and got the job done. Good win for her. I'm not going to expect her to win right back.
We'll go to, I guess, the one to beat, the number 2 Nitrogen here. We'll take a look at the Bayakoa last time out back on February 7th. And, in terms of the field, she'll have to face Quiet Side again in this spot. And she's able to draw clear, get her first win back on the dirt since the Grade 1 Alabama at Saratoga. You mentioned it. You have the feeling that this might have been, the best she's ever been, at least the way she looks here physically.
She looks great coming off the layoff. You can see she's still a goofball through the stretch here. As soon as she puts that rival away, that's a stablemate of hers who's in really good form too. But she just easily overpowered that horse, and she got to acting goofy like she always does in her dirt races. But she just, to me, dominated that field, Ashley. And I mean, she was obviously really good last year. I still, there's still a part of me who thinks she's a better turf horse than she is a dirt horse, but I can't find any way to knock her return from the layoff. I thought she looked really good winning that race, and I expect her to be super tough right back.
And you mentioned the runner-up, her stablemate Azeri came back to win the Trevista back on the 27th of February. I think that was probably maybe a little strategy there to maybe not have 3 Mark Casse horses in this spot, so it worked out for the runner-up. And I agree with you. Nitrogen was impressive. I don't want to knock her. I wish she would kind of get over some of that goofiness, but, it was her first start since Del Mar, so I'll give her a little bit of a pass. I think if I continue to see it happen and maybe someone comes into form that can maybe test her a little bit, I'll feel differently, but yet to really see that especially with what we saw last time out. The 3 Majestic Oops up next, this one for Dan Ward. We'll take a look at this one's most recent performance, which was a different ball game. It was at Oaklawn Park, but it was going 6 furlongs in the American Beauty, and she got the pace set up. I do find her, though, stretching back out a little intriguing. She has some strong 2-turn form, Mike, but, she really hasn't faced nitrogen other than the distaff.
Yeah, this is good stuff here. Yeah, the distaff, she just didn't run well for whatever reason. I don't want to be too hard on her for that. This is good stuff here. She smashes this field, just ridden out at the end here. I'm encouraged too, because you pointed out she's been pretty good going long. That was a sprint, but she's been pretty good going longer around 2 turns. I think mile and a 16th is probably the limit for her. I don't like her going much further than this. There's a part of me who thinks I'd like to see them concentrate on sprints and shorter races with her this year, but she can get this far, and she's a super tactical horse too. So maybe she falls into a nice trip here.
Moving on to the 4 Quiet Side, who's the 3rd place finisher in the Bayakoa. It was just her 3rd start since the Kentucky Oaks. I thought it was fine. I guess the concern was she wasn't really close to the runner-up when it was all said and done. But we talked about it. The runner-up comes back to win next out. She likes it at Oaklawn Park. When you look at her wins there, she's been able to take the Honeybee and the Fantasy. I don't want to knock her too hard. She's pretty consistent, Mike, but I just think when you look at the Bayakoa, if that's the race that you pick, nitrogen was better.
Yeah, I don't see how you could watch the Bayakoa back and feel like Quiet Side's in the same league as nitrogen, because she clearly isn't. She had a really good trip in the Bayakoa, and she tried really, really hard in there, Ashley, and she was just absolutely no match. I don't see why it would be different in here.
Regaled up next here, post 5 for this mare in the Whitworth Beckman barn. We haven't seen her since the Fall City back at the end of November at Churchill, where she was just 4th best. She took some play in there as well. She's about 3-1 on the tote board, but she did run a very good, in my opinion, 3rd place finish in the Breeders' Cup Distaff. She certainly outran her odds. Would love to own her. Look at how much money she made last year, Mike, but she's not necessarily winning all the time.
Yeah, well, she has a running style that really works against her. She is always trying to come from last, and it's hard to win races from last. To her credit, a really good win 3 starts back in that Delaware handicap. That race set up great for her. The pace was really solid, and she came running to close it down. But as you mentioned, she came right back and ran great, I thought, at the Breeders' Cup. We'll see what kind of trip she can work out. I'm a huge fan of this horse, Ashley. I'm not sure that this is the spot I want to bet her in, but she can win another nice race down the line. She's a really good horse.
The 6 Cara, the stablemate to nitrogen, she's done some big things. She's a multiple grade 1 winner. You said it, though, best. I mean, she needs the lead. And I start to wonder, Mike, does she need to make it somewhat easily? I'm not saying that if she, has to work to get the position that she can't get it done. I think when she's hounded for long periods of time, it works against her. And she didn't make the lead last time out. She had to chase sort of in vain and tired out of there. And maybe it was the track. But I just go back to the 2 grade 1 wins. And I remember being at Tampa, watching the Suncoast, and when I saw the fractions, I said, there's no way they're going to get to her. And they didn't in any of those 3 races. And I just think she's going to be pressured more here.
Yeah, I feel like it's possible too. I mean, I do think she's a dangerous horse, because as you've pointed out, I mean, she's won some really nice races when she's able to have things her own way. And so if for some reason she is able to clear off in here, I just think it makes her super dangerous. I don't love her overall. I didn't think her return last time was anything special. And I'm not, I don't think I really want to give her the wet track excuse, because I've seen her run really well over wet tracks in the past. So I don't know, maybe she just needed the race off the layoff last time, actually. But I don't love her in here, but I do think she's a dangerous horse if she can get loose.
And then we'll round out the field here with the 7 Standout Sensation, who I find her form to be pretty intriguing. I just feel like she's been really strong her last 7 or 8 races, Mike. It seems like Tom Amos has done a good job managing her and finding those right spots to enter, right? And kind of traveling with her and not having any issues with that. And she was able to win 4 in a row. She got narrowly defeated last time out while jumping up to the grade 3 waters. And again, she's going to have her work cut out for her. I can't really knock her. And I do think it bodes well for her that she absolutely loves Oaklawn Park.
She really does like it. Yeah, listen, she lost her winning streak last time, but I don't think it would be that hard to watch that race back and say she ran the best race in there, sort of dueling the pace with Cara and getting tired at the end. But so, maybe she was just unlucky last time. I still just kind of feel like she is what she is, Ashley. She's not, I don't think there's a big forward move coming for her. I think you're going to get her typical race in here, and I don't think her typical race is going to be good enough against nitrogen. I'm sure she'll show up and run well here. I'm way more afraid of Cara than I am of her in this race.
All right, a field of 7 for the grade 2 Azeri this Saturday at Oaklawn Park. Before we move to our top selections, Let's get a word with our sponsor, morningline.io.
This video is sponsored by morningline.io, SEC regulated marketplace where approved participants can trade licensed interest in racing's biggest stars. Be part of championship bloodlines. Just visit morningline.io. Buy, sell, trade, own the game.
All right, Mike, top pick time here for the Azeri. I don't even need to look up. I think we're in the same boat here with probably the general betting public. I think this is a race where it's Nitrogen's race to win. If she loses, I don't know how that really happens. I guess, she doesn't break well out of the gate, or maybe the track isn't to her liking, but just based on what we've seen so far in her resume, especially at the Bayakoa last out, she's a horse to beat.
Yeah, I feel the same way. It's just another really, really good spot for her. And there's just no way I'm going to bet against her. I mean, listen, would I be shocked if she lost? I don't think I'd be shocked, but I'd be kind of surprised. I'm just not going to bet against her.
Yeah, and I honestly probably won't bet this race for that reason. She's going to be a very short price. We saw that last time, 30 cents on the dollar. I think I would be a little shocked if she lost. But again, never know what'll happen if horses and riders will try to pressure her or change tactics and make her adjust. We do agree, though, on the top two. Majestic Oops being our second choice. So 2, 3, 5, 6 for Mike, 2, 3, 7, 5 for me. It's the feature this Saturday at Oaklawn, the Grade 2 Azeri. Best of luck.